And we are back. Welcome back to the SASN.TV Game of the Week, where we have the visiting Coolidge Colts against the home team of Dunbar, of the Dunbar Crimson Tide. We are here in Northeast DC for tonight's game. Game will be tipping off in about a few minutes. A couple of storylines here. It's going to be the tail of the tape. The tail of the tape, leading and scoring for this for both teams for Coolidge. Kyle Gaskins is leading the team in 25 points per game. Stephon Walker is also leading the Colts in 18 rebounds per game as well. While David Bolding is leading the Colts is 6.8 points per game. While Mike Pexey is leading in steals, 4.1 for Coolidge High School as well. For the Dunbar Crimson Tide, led by 17 points per game. Siku Sibiri, the 6'4" guard for the Crimson Tide, and the leading rebounder is Reggie White, a 6'2" forward for the Crimson Tide. Couple of tidbits and notes for prior to today's game. The DC Public High School Sports League has announced that there will be only limited spectators into tonight's games and for the rest of the games for any public school boys or girls games. So this is going to be a very limited crowd, but this is very excitement as well. The Crimson Tide is led by Damon Singletary, while his assistant coaches are Derek Campbell, Stephon Marshall, Chris Graham, and Devon McCray. While the Coolidge Colts are led by former Coolidge standout and legend Derek Washington. Tail of the tape as well. Also key notes for the home team Crimson Tide. They last played a game yesterday last week versus Cardozo with a victory, but also notably went out of town before the DC Public School pause against Lewis High School in Springfield, Virginia, where they won 77-74. Recently, Coolidge played this weekly hosting the NABC Showcase, Mid-Atlantic Basketball Showcase on their home floor. With a loss resulting into a few.
The Scholar Athlete Sports Network, SASN, is the DMV's only high school sports network providing a platform for the top scholar athletes in the DMV area. SASN.TV, the only high school sports network that features the top athletes in the DMV. The Scholar Athlete Sports Network, SASN, is the DMV's only high school sports network providing a platform for the top scholar athletes in the DMV area. SASN.TV, the only high school sports network.
Anthem's about to start. To start up soon, and then we're going to start half tip in just a moment. And we are at tip, leading at the jump ball. We have Stephon Walker, and then Jaden Robinson at the tip. And possession goes to Dunbar as Siku Sidbury is up at the point guard. The Crimson Tide have connection, and I believe there is a foul call already. First foul call of the night. Foul is on number 5 on Coolidge. Dunbar pays attention, pass in, and another foul call, and then another call. Fouls on Elijah Stanley. That's his first personal, and that is the team's first. 7:46 to go. It's tied at 0-0. Balding is bringing it up. Inside, jumper, good for 2 points. But good for 2 points for Amar Curtis for the Colts. Coolidge is up 2-0. Sidbury drives and kicks, a travel violation. Called on the Crimson Tide. Coolidge retains possession. And then a 30-second timeout by Coach Singletary. Both teams, after a year hiatus, they're back. They're back. That is the biggest storyline as well. DC High School Sports is back after a year of a COVID pause. DC, along with many counties in the state of Maryland, did not have a high school basketball season last season due to the pandemic. Shot clock is reset. Coolidge is back. David Boulding passes to Curtis. Boulding goes in, drives, looks in. Curtis shoots for 3, and he has 5 points on the night. Amari Curtis, 5-zip for the Coolidge Colts. Sidbury is bringing up the ball. He's looking to see if he can get the offense going, get at least a spark. Rashard Levitt Jr. passes it in. Robinson trying to see what's open. 6:39 left in the first quarter. Robinson for the drive. And it's a blocking foul for Coolidge. on Bolding. And Robinson will be going up for 2. With 6:36 minutes left in the first quarter. Robinson hits the first one. A couple of things noticeable about this game today is Dunbar is also very undersized, while Coolidge has at least a 6'8" and two 6'5" players on their team. As Walker grabs his first rebound of the work, Gaskins bringing up the ball, looks for Bolden. Walker passes in. Gaskins looks for Curtis. Curtis is driving the running offense. Gaskins a fake. Curtis, a good handoff. Bolden looks for Walker. Walker goes in the double team and gets fouled. And he is heading to the line for 2. Foul is on number 10, Reggie White, on the Crimson Tide. Stephon Walker is the standout player for the Colts. He is one of the top players in the D.C. area and one of the top players in the city. A 4-year varsity letterman for the Colts. Holds numerous Division I offers, and also a recent Division II offer from Virginia Union. And he misses 2. 6'1", 6'10 left in the game. Sidbury drives, looks for, and a rebound. The Crimson Tide retains possession. White passes in. Levitt goes for the drive, no good. Bolding with the rebound. And Bolding gives it up to Gaskins. Gaskins drives, looks for Walker. Good ball movement. Curtis, again, no good. No good from the 3. And Dunbar retains possession. Sidbury passes to Robinson, and a foul and a possession call, foul. And that is Curry's first personal foul. That is the third team foul. 5:30 left, 6-1. The Colts are leading in the game. Sidbury passes, and great defense by David Bolden, and a dunk, and a thunder slam by David Bolden for Coolidge extends the lead to 8-1 in the first quarter. Sidbury driving, trying to get to the lane, reverse, and a foul called. He'll be getting two free shots. That foul will be on Coolidge. That foul will be on Coolidge. Sidbury, he's heading up to the line. And he hits one. Sidbury is up for the 2, and he hits 2. It's 8-3 now. Colts going wide. Wide Bolding. He has the ball. He has the ball. Look inside, and it's a good 2 points. The 2 points from number 20 from Malachi Bates, the senior. Coolidge is turning up the pressure on defense. Levitt Jr., he's looking to see if he gets some offense. Gives it to Robinson. Robinson is looking. Sidbury. It's a great matchup versus Bates. Looks for Robinson. Robinson in the corner trying to drive over. Levitt Jr., 1 second off the shot clock. No good. Still rebound by Walker. Walker driving down. That's what he can do. He can take it to the lane. And foul is called on Elijah Stanley. That is Dunbar's third foul. On the floor, Gaskins is passing it in to Curtis. Curtis is coming in. Great ball movement by the Colts. Shot by Gaskins. No good. Rebound by Walker. Last touch, Coolidge. And we have our first substitution for the night. Michael Sims checks in for Stanley for the Crimson Tide. Coolidge is now pressing. The score is 10-3. 4 minutes left into the first quarter. The Crimson Tide trying to get the ball across half court. Great ball movement. Block, good block. And it is a goaltend. It is a goaltend, if it looks like, on the Colts on Stephon Walker. The score is now 10-5, and great steal by number 10, Reggie White. And then a turnover. Crimson Tide playing a little bit out of control tonight, a little bit. They're getting a little bit flustered with the length and defense. Substitution is in for Coolidge. Number 3, Marquay Pixley is in the game. So we have a lineup of Curtis, Pixie, Walker, and Bates. Walker goes for 3. No good. Rebound by Sidbury. Sidbury, long pass, almost, and it hits the hoop. A turnover again by the Crimson Tide. Biggest key things for the Crimson Tide is they have to limit their turnovers. As Coolidge dribble drive, Bates, and a foul. And a foul is on number 3, Sidbury. A little bit of frustration. Heading to the line for the 3-point play, Malachi Bates, a 6'5" senior. No good on the shot. Possession, last touch by the Crimson Tide. And we retain the Colts ball. Coolidge, one of the best teams in the DC area and also ranked in the top 20 by the Washington Post. Curtis is in, passes it in. Curtis, pass to Gaskins. Gaskins, Pixie. Pixie's looking, they're trying to see if they can feed Walker. Curtis finds Bates. Bates gets fouled again. And that foul's on Michael Sims. With the reach in. Bates is going in. Bates is going to shoot for 2. 3 minutes and 2 seconds left in the first quarter. Coolidge is winning this game 12-5. Coolidge is almost one of the things about difference between Coolidge this past year. They are playing a very tough regional schedule. They had a really tough preseason. They played against National Christian Academy, and then they also played against Rock Creek as well. And then DeMatha as their first game, as Sidbury is bringing down to the line. Sidbury is looking and driving. He finds Robinson. Robinson drives almost to the double team. White looks. Sidbury gets great catch, spin, Linnet, layup, no good. Rebound by Walker, one of the best rebounders in the region. Gaskins looks up, sees Bates, and Bates heading to the free throw line with another 3-point play. And fouls on Jaden Robinson for the Crimson Tide, and a substitution is coming in. Devin Davis. Devin Davis is substituting for Reggie White. Great, that is almost at least 7 points by Malachi Bates. One thing about Coolidge is they are running the floor very well and running the lane. That's a bad miss on the free throw line. Rebound by Robinson. Robinson is bringing it up for the Crimson Tide. Chris Robinson beating off the pressure. Sidbury, handoff pitch. Shot goes up. No good. Another rebound by Walker. And Gaskins driving in. Looks for Bates again. Missed layup by Bates. Bates picks it up and cleans up his own board. Malachi Bates extends the lead 16-5. 2 minutes left in the first quarter for the Coolidge Colts. Levitt Jr. driving in traffic and gets a push-in foul. Foul is on Malachi Bates, and checking in for the Coolidge Colts, David Bolding. And then Giselle Anderson, a junior. Robinson drives in. Sidbury for three, no good. Gaskins driving, rebounded by Kyle Gaskins. He's looking to set up the offense. He finds Walker. Gaskins, open three. It's good for 3 points. Kyle Gaskins. And it extends the lead to 19-5 with 1:25 to go in the first quarter. Davis is in, driving in. 3-point shot by Rashad. No good. Almost good fight by rebound by Devin Davis. One thing about Dunbar, they are fighting and scrapping and clawing, even though this deficit is small. Bring it out. Good ball movement. No almost a turnover. Robinson has the ball. Goes up for two. No good. Bolden. It's the rebound. Dribbles in. Oh, Walker drives in. Pixie for three. And that's good for the senior, 5'10 senior. Scores his first bucket, and the score is 22-5. 45 seconds left in the first quarter. Sidbury getting guarded by Pixie. Sidbury goes in, and it's a traveling violation by the Crimson Tide, and another substitution is in. Kenyatta Carmichael Jr. is in for the game. He replaces Levitt. 35 seconds left in the 25-second shot clock. Pixie passes the Bolding. A dribble handoff. Gaskins, Pixie. Good high screen. Almost trapped. Walker gets the ball. 3-point shot. And it's good for Stephon Walker. Walker extends the lead to 25-5. 15 seconds left in the game. A 3-point shot. No good for the Crimson Tide. Bolding looking up. 5 seconds left. Good pocket pass and a steal by Devin Davis. And then a re-steal by Pixie. And that is the end of the first quarter. The Colts of Coolidge leading this game 25. The Crimson Tide has 5, and that is the end of the first quarter. Here on the Game of the Week. We'll be right back with more game action. We are back with game action tonight between the Crimson Tide of Dunbar High School and also Coolidge Coolidge High School. Start of the second quarter, 25-5. Coolidge is winning this game. In the game for the lineup for Coolidge. Coolidge has inbound. It's Pixie. It's Mikael Pixie, Amir Curtis as well. And then also Zacarly Anderson, Walker, and also Stephon Walker and David Bolding. Walker misses a layup. Sidbury lose the ball, turnover. There's some bodies flying on the floor, diving for the loose ball. And it's picked up by Bolding. Bolding drives in off 2 feet. Foul and a foul on Siku Sidbury. I believe that is the fifth foul on Dunbar. David Bolding is at the line. And he misses the first one. Bolding is at the second line. And he makes it, extends the lead to 26-5. Colts, 7:30 left in the second quarter. Robinson looks for Carmichael Jr. and it's a steal, almost near steal by David Bolding. That's one of the things that he is good at. He is a defensive pest on the team. Still Crimson Tide ball. Robinson trying to look in. He sees Sidbury. And almost another near turnover by the Crimson Tide. And another turnover by the Crimson Tide. And Colts have possession. Curtis has the ball. Curtis. And off to Bolding. Bolding to Anderson. Walker looks up, post in. Good fadeaway. No miss. Rebounded by the Crimson Tide. Robinson going down, driving coast to coast. Good pull-up mid-range. No good. Rebounded by the Colts, and almost near turnover. Curtis has possession. Curtis drives in. Bolding, and a no-foul call by the refs, and possession goes to the Crimson Tide. But Bolding comes back with the ball and finds Curtis, and he scores two. And it's 28-5 with 6:30 minutes left to go in the game. It's 28-5 Colts. Crimson Tide drives in. Sidbury has possession, looks in, tries to create off the dribble. Shoots, misses, and a missed rebound by the Tide. Pixie has the ball, looks for Bolding, looks for Walker. And Walker goes in for a layup, and it's all Coolidge. Coolidge, and a full timeout is called by the Crimson Tide. It is 35, 6 minutes and 6 seconds to go in the game. One thing about this Coolidge high school team that's so different with a lot of the teams, this Coolidge team is built to have a very big season down the stretch. They're actually one of the other favorites for the city title. Again, Coolidge having a major schedule, a little bit different than a lot of teams in this area, with their first outing against the DeMatha Stags. Although almost losing by 15 early in November. Biggest thing for this team is that for the Crimson Tide, that they have to play smarter basketball against a very big team like Coolidge. Some substitutions came in for both teams. As the Crimson Tide brings up the ball, Robinson has the ball. And he gives it to Levitt. Levitt gives it to White. Levitt drives in, and the foul is called. It's a hold call on the Colts. On number 0, Amir Curtis. Substitutions also for the Coolidge Colts. Malachi Day, a junior, a 6'3" junior, is in for the game. And then Jarrell Anderson is in the game. Coach Washington giving Walker and Bates a blow. And Levitt is missed both free throws. Pixie has the ball. Pixie almost gets ball fake. Bolding drives in, floater, no good. Anderson, almost no rebound, and rebound by Robinson for Dunbar. And a steal by Pixie. And a foul on Robinson. And Pixie will be going up for 2. And Coach Singletary is looking to his bench, having a quick substitution. .5:28 left to go in today's game. The Colts of Coolidge, 30-6 of the Crimson Tide. As Pixie goes up for 2, the 5'10" senior. Airballs a shot. Checking in for the Crimson Tide. Tequil Cutler checks in the game. He takes out Robinson, who's also in foul trouble. And Pixie misses both free throws, rebounded by Sims. And a block by Coolidge, by number 12. By 12. Oh, and there's another substitution for the Colts. Pixie is subbed out. And then forward. Oh, Crimson Tide goes up for 2, and this is their first field goal of the game by Lewis. Colts goes in the game. Bate, Gaskins tries to mix it up. Good spin, good finger roll, no good. And rebounded by Levitt Jr. Levitt Jr. drives, looks for Sidbury. Sidbury trying to look for a drive. Up for 2 points, no good. Rebounded by the Colts, and Bolding looks wide, looks for Gaskins for wide open 3. And it's good for 3 points, 33-8. 4 minutes and 35 seconds left in the first half. Cutler passes up to Sidbury. Sidbury looks for Cutler again. Cutler drives in, step back, no good. Rebounded by the Colts, and the Colts are up and running. Bolding, good fake, but has to call a traveling violation. Biggest thing about Coolidge right now is they're running their lanes and running their offense very well. Their defense, they're exposing that pressure very well. Cutler bringing up the ball. Almost a near turnover again for the Crimson Tide. That has been the storyline of the game. Levitt drives in. Blocked by the Crimson Tide. Gaskins goes up, missed layup, almost 2 missed layups, and the Colts capitalize. Colts capitalize, extending the lead 35-8. Basketball was by number 15, Jarrell Anderson. Sidbury drives in, tries to drive, puts it up, and a foul is called on Dave Bolden for the Colts. Sidbury, Sekou Sidbury, the leading scorer of the Crimson Tide, and he hits one. Substitutions for the Colts. Stephon Walker is coming into the game, and Makai Dye is in for the game. Sidbury misses the second one, which is also a violation. As the Crimson Tide is pressing, extends the ball. Good jumper, missed by the Coolidge Colts. Gaskins tries to go through a little bit of pass, and fouls on number 12 for the Coolidge Colts. For the Coolidge Colts, Kevin Nevers, with 6'5" junior. And that is the 8th personal foul, and they're in the bonus. 3:28 left in the game. As Coolidge is up 35-9 over the Crimson Tide. Sidbury Back at the line, shooting 2. For 1-and-1. And misses the first one. Possession back to Coolidge. Curtis looks for Lewis, and a layup and a foul call is on Reggie White. Going to the line for Coolidge, Nevers. One of the things I really like about this Coolidge team as well is they're a very veteran Latin team. Many of these guys have been playing varsity basketball for about 3-4 years. As we see a substitution, as Robinson subs in for Sidbury. Also on both teams, also on this Coolidge team, many players are ready to play at the next level, a Division I team. As Nevers hits the first shot, as 3:20 minutes left in the game. And a shot goes for Levitt, no good. No good. Gaskins comes in, drives in, looks. Walker shoots for 3. And a no good. And goes to the line. White brings up the basketball. 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in the game. Crimson Tide up for 3. 3 ball by Cutler, no good. Rebounded by White. Levitt Jr. gives up the ball up, passes to White. White goes up, passes to Robinson. Robinson for 3. No good. Rebound by Nevers, and Amir Curtis is off running. Layup good for Amir Curtis. And it leads to, and extends to 2 minutes, 30 minutes left in the game, 38-9. The Colts are having a coming out party. Robinson, turnover again by the Crimson Tide. Curtis goes up, does a little jelly at the line, and that's 2 points, and it's 40-9 by the Colts. Levitt Jr. is bringing up the ball. And a 3. Good for Rashad Levitt. And a timeout is called by Coolidge. It's 40-12, Coolidge, here on the game of the week. It is a 30-second timeout. A minute 53 left on the clock. Crimson Tide, very famous basketball club as well. They have won at least 5 city championships here. Most recently in 2003. One thing also about Dunbar as well, they also have an historic game versus the Dunbar Poets out in Baltimore, Maryland. That game will be played later in the month. Later in the month in February. Something to look at called the Dunbar Classic. Pixie brings up the ball. Pixie looks at Nevers. Pixie brings in for a substitution by the Colts by number 13, Nico Bethea. And a turnover by the Colts. Rashad Levitt, and another turnover. Loses the ball control, trying to go coast to coast. And it's back to the Colts. Nevers goes for 3, no good, but rebounding. Offensive rebound and overpass. And a turnover on Nevers. Crimson Tide ball. 1 minute to go in the first half. Checking in for the Tide. Ronald Woods brings up the ball. Cutler trying to play with it a little bit. Levitt Jr. goes up for 3. And it's good for 3 points, Levitt Jr. And it's 40-15. 35 seconds left in the game. Pixie passes it to Bethea. Nevers drives in. Pixie to Bethea for three. No good. Rebound by Walker. Puts it back up. No good. No good again for the Colts. Nevers goes up for three. No good. And rebounded by Rashad Levitt. 12 seconds left in the first half. Levitt trying to see if he can get a good shot. 6 seconds left. 5 seconds. White airballs and goes up, and Pixie gets the ball, pulls it up, and it's good. Nope, but the referee say basket is no good. It went off before the buzzer, and that is the end of the first half. The Coolidge Colts are leading 40-15. And we will be right back. Right back. We will take a brief intermission. Stay tuned on the SASN.TV Game of the Week. We'll be back live from Northeast DC.
To you with the headset on. Calling the game.
I gotta get the link. Someone's trying to get it. So, yeah. So, all right. Thank you. Thank you. How we sounded?
Good. Everybody loves it.
Oh, for real?
That don't sound good. Very good. I guess all those years in broadcasting we paid off, huh?
I guess so. I just did it off the rip. For the most part. So.
Yeah, oh yeah, no. Yeah, we gotta meet with them on Friday. 2 2 2 check 2 2. I'll see them in the morning. Yeah, I'll see them in the morning.
Looks like this is moving, so guess they want us to live stream their games as well.
Well, no, they already have the equipment. They just want me to show them how to do it. That's fine. Because I'll figure out how if they streaming their games, we can just tap into what they're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, take some of the streaming links.
You know what I'm saying? Nope. Just take it from there.
Yep. Hey guys, if they're contacting
They're not going to want to do that.
What do what?
Sit up there and stream all those games. They're not going to want to do that.
Oh, no.
They'll start out because it's fun, but even up there, they don't have the attention span. I mean, you know, they still trying to figure it out. So
Oh, yeah.
figure it out.
Like, it's very hard to stream. Ready? All right. And we are back. And we are back live, back here for the SASN.TV, the .TV game. I'm Daniel Harris. I am on call tonight. I'm your play-by-play coordinator and also your color commentator. Today we are here for a DC Public School matchup for our game of the week, as the Coolidge Colts are playing against the home team, the Dunbar Crimson Tide, and the Coolidge Colts have jumped onto a big major lead, 40-15 in the first half. The storyline is the Crimson Tide have been turning over the ball a little bit too much, and then the Coolidge Colts have been capitalizing, getting into the drive, pressing, and using their long length and ability. The Crimson Tide are 6-7 overall in the season with the recent win against Cardozo. While the Coolidge Colts recently just played a game against a highly regionally ranked National Christian out of Maryland, a private school out of Maryland, and they lost by 10 in their home showcase in the Mid-Atlantic Basketball Showcase. Second half of the game action, and then stay tuned for post-game interviews after the game. After the game, as we are underway with the second half of your game of the week. Okay. For both teams? We are back a minute to go for halftime. Both teams are warming up here at the game of the week. Here at Northeast DC in Northeast Washington DC. For those of you guys who are tuning in to today's game is a big time game. Big game for both teams. Coolidge is one of the favorites to win the city championship, returning some major talent, including with Stephon Walker and Kyle Gaskins, notable players, and David Bolden. All Division I prospects on Coolidge's team, major Division I, Division II prospects, while the Dunbar Crimson Tide, 6-7 on the season, has a very good, talented player in Siku Sidbury. As the Crimson Tide and the Colts get ready for a big second half, Crimson Tide's going to have to come down and start trying to make a run in order to win. And again, thank you so much for all the people who are tuning in. This is our actual first game of the season. It was a little bit of a test run for us. We have a little bit of a spirit fan club. Shout out to the Coolidge cheerleaders for making the trip to Northeast DC this evening. Possession arrow goes to the Crimson Tide. Sidbury passes to Levitt, and a whistle is blown by the officials. And the shot clock needs to reset. One of the things that makes DC public school basketball special is that they are implementing a shot clock. Them, along with Maryland, Prince George's County and Maryland, are the only public schools around the country to use a shot clock. 20 seconds left on the shot clock. 7:47 in the third quarter. Robinson looks for Sidbury. Sidbury looks. Sidbury drives into the lane. Layup good for Siku Sidbury. And it gives Dunbar 17 points. The Colts coming back. Walker looks for Curtis. Curtis looks for Bolding. Bolding passes to Gaskins. Bolding. And that's an over and back call by the Colts by David Bolding. Sidbury brings up the ball. Robinson drives in, good mid-range jumper, miss, no good. Last touch by the Colts. Crimson Tide basketball on the baseline. And we'll have a substitution by the Colts. Subs in for Bates and Gaskins. Subbing in is Pixie. And then also Anderson. Ref said this, no, not yet, not just yet. Sidbury, and it's still Crimson Tide possession. 17 seconds left on the shot clock, 6 minutes. Rebound, and it's a foul again on the Colts. And that foul is going to be on Anderson. Shooting foul, Reggie White off the Crimson Tide is going for 2 shots. White makes the first free throw. Gives the Crimson Tide 18 points. And it's 40-19 Colts. Still all Colts. 5 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game. 21 seconds left on the shot clock. Bolden drives in. Gets to the double team, but the basket's good, but it is called back as a travel violation. Crimson Tide ball. Sidbury brings up the ball. Is bringing up the basketball. Sidbury. Levitt trying to dribble drive, goes up, throws it up. No good. Hustle play by White. Saved by White, but Curtis picks it up for Coolidge. Curtis trying to slice and dice, and a foul is called. And foul is on Elijah Stanley for the Crimson Tide. And Bolden passes in. Pixie passes in to Curtis. Curtis rises up to Pixie. Pixie to Bolden. Bolden to Walker, tries to lob it up. And a foul is called on the floor on the Crimson Tide. And that is Elijah Stanley. And I believe that is another foul on Elijah Stanley. Still Coolidge ball. Bolden goes for three. Knockdown. And it's 43-19. All Coolidge. As Coolidge is on for a big run. Sidbury has the ball, as it drives in, drives through baseline, off 2 feet. Blocked by Walker, but that's going to be called a foul on Walker with the block. And Sidbury will go up for 2. Sekou Sidbury leading in scoring for this team. For this team. And a substitution by Elijah Stanley. Elijah Stanley is subbed out. Subbing in is Michael Sims. And Sidbury knocks it down. And then Bolden drives in, dribble drives, loses the ball, and a turnover on the Coolidge Colts. But it appears the ref said it was off the Crimson Tide. And possession retains to the Colts. I did not like that call, not one bit. I think it should have been back to the Crimson Tide. And Crimson Tide picks up the turnover, lob. No good. Bolden gets the ball for Coolidge. Bolden looks for Walker. Walker rips through. Off 2 feet, Curtis looks for Anderson. Anderson goes up for 2, and it's a 3-point play for the Colts. It appears and that is the 3rd foul on the Dunbar Crimson Tide. And it's Jarrell Anderson going up for 2 free throws. This is going up for a 3-point play. He misses that one. We're on a running clock, I believe. For the Dunbar, for the game. Sidbury turns it over. Pixie tries to get it, and then another turnover by the Colts. Levitt Jr. picks it up. And there's a foul on the Colts. Foul is on McCray Pixie. And a substitution is in for the Colts. Subs in from number 12, Kevin Nevers is in the game. Number 22, Alex Cadet, a senior. And a substitution also for the Crimson Tide. Devin Davis is in the game. Skip past to Robinson. Robinson no good on the 3. Davis comes up with the ball. And then Cadet comes up with a steal. Walker brings up the ball. Walker, dribble drive, looks here. Cadet, off Alex Cadet. And a technical foul is on Coach Washington. Technical foul is on number 22. Technical foul is on Coach Washington. Coach Washington for the Colts. 45-21, 47 seconds left. I believe the technical was for profanity on the floor. As the ref said this, we are not using that tonight. And Rashad Levitt misses the free throw. And possession returns to Crimson Tide. 47 seconds left in the third quarter. And Levitt Jr. brings it up. Looks for Sidbury. Sidbury has a little bit of a mouse in the house. And a missed layup. Cadet for the Colts. Rebounds. Pixie driving in. 31 seconds left. Pixie goes in. Layup blocked by Sims. And there's still a running clock. Shot clock is off. 21 seconds left in the game. 45-22 as the Crimson Tide is making a little bit of a comeback. And a block by Robinson over a Cadet. And then a foul and a questionable foul call on Stephon Walker. And it looks like the Coolidge coaching staff is irate about it. Not pleased with that foul call. And then we're on a full timeout. That is the end of the third, and I believe that is the end of the third quarter. And we are in the fourth quarter, or now with a running clock. 45-22, all Coolidge in this game. In for the Crimson Tide, we have Jaden Robinson, Rashad Levitt Jr., Devin Davis, Siku Sidbury, and Michael Sims. In for the Coolidge Colts, we have Malachi Bates, Amar Curtis, David Boulding, and Stephon Walker, and then Kyle Gaskins. And it's the start of the fourth quarter. Stay tuned for the end of the fourth quarter. We're going to have post-game interviews with both teams, with both teams at the end of the game. And possession is in. Boulding gets the ball, is guarded heavily on Robinson. Boulding getting ready to try to get at the ball. Gaskins has the ball on the wing. Gaskins goes off the screen. Gaskins passes to Walker, and Walker, good layup by Stephon Walker. It's Dunbar. Sidbury, 7:30 left in the game, 47-22. All Colts. Robinson, mid-range from the elbow. And a foul is called on David Boulding. It appears what DC athletics do is a running clock after a certain margin of points. Jaden Robinson, the junior, is up for 2 points. And it's good. And extends the lead, and gives the deficit. Jaden Robinson downs the deficit. Walker brings up the ball because he can play the point guard as well. Gives it to Curtis. Curtis looks there. Dribble handoff to Holden. Holden goes up. Looks for Curtis. Curtis for an open three. No good. Walker nearly had the rebound. Last touch by the Crimson Tide. And it is Colts basketball. With 6 minutes and 10 seconds left in the game. 12 seconds left on the shot clock. It appears we are leaving, waiting on an official call. They're checking for the clock. Still running clock here. 29 seconds left in the shot clock. Walker for three, and it's good for 3 points. For 3 points by Stephon Walker, and it's 50-24. All Coolidge Colts all tonight. Sidbury for the Crimson Tide has the ball, guarded by Walker. Robinson goes up there. Sidbury drives through, goes up for a fake, goes up, misses. And a rebound by Bates. Bates looks for Curtis. Curtis goes up, layup. No good. No good. Sims rebound. Sidbury. Levitt goes up, reverse. No good. Sidbury cleans it up for a rebound. And that is 2 points by Sidbury. And no one on Dunbar is back on defense, and Curtis with an easy layup. No, lackadaisical defense down there by the Crimson Tide. Davis is in the game. Gives it to Sims. Sims for three. Good for 3 points by Michael Sims. And it's 52-29. And Gaskins goes up for a layup. And it's good for 2 points. And it's 54-29 with 4 minutes and 33 seconds left. And a turnover by the Colts. Looks like the Colts going to have to settle down and run some offense a bit. Curtis goes down. Gaskins, good for fake. Walker goes for three. No good. Bates gives it back, rebound, gives it back to Curtis. Curtis, an air ball three. No good. And the Crimson Tide has the ball. Levitt drives down. Sims stops for a mid-range. Air ball, no good. And it's a jump ball between Bates and Sidbury. And they are giving possession to the Coolidge Colts, and a substitution is in. McCray Pixie, and then McCray Pixie is in. And then Nico Bethea is in the game. 3 minutes left in the game. It's Robinson. Goes up for two, and it's good. And it's 54-31. Pixie passes to Walker. Bethea had the ball. Walker trying to mix it up. Bethea gets the ball, and it's a foul on the Crimson Tide, and that is the fourth personal. Or foul, a team foul, I believe. Fouls, sorry, I'm mistaken. That is on Seiko Sidbury. And there's a timeout on the floor. 2 minutes and 41 seconds left. This game has been all Coolidge. Coolidge has shown why they are the class of the city. They are the class of the city for this year, and they are also the reason why they are also in the running, one of the favorites between Wilson High School for this team. And it looks like they are running away with it, and it looks like a substitution to clearing the bench almost. Gaskins has the ball, drives in, reverse layup, and it's good. Kyle Gaskins for two, and it's 56-31. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game. And there's a turnover on the Crimson Tide. And we have a substitution. Stephen Walker is out. And Jarrell Anderson checks into the game. Gaskins dumps a drive. And Anderson hits the layup. Levitt. There's the ball. Bates is on him. Levitt drives in. Floater. Good for 2 points. 2 points by Rashad Levitt for the Crimson Tide, and it's 58-33. Not enough time left to make a huge comeback. Gaskins goes up for three. No good. Sims picks up, rebounded by Sims. Robinson drives down, goes up for a layup. No good. Rebounded by Anderson. And Pixie. And McCray Pixie baseball pass to Bethea. And we're calling a substitution. Alex Cadet is checking in, and then also Ronald Woods. He's checking in. And there's a timeout. And this looks like it's all runaway Coolidge Colts. As the Crimson Tide is very overmatched against the Colts. Size differential, and then substitution clearing the bench in number 12. Number 12 for the Coolidge Colts. Colts Kevin Nevers checks into the game. And the ball is inbounded and it's Coolidge possession. Pixie has the ball, drives in. Dribble drives, gives it up to Cadet. Cadet goes up, and a layup by Alex Cadet. And Pixie and Robinson for the Crimson Tide finds Woods. Woods for three. And he's a freshman. And a three-point jump, and it's good for Jarrell Anderson as the Coolidge bench is excited for Jarrell Anderson. Jarrell Anderson hits a big three. It's 63-33. Running clock, 42 seconds left on the clock. Sidbury drives up, layup, and one good. And Sidbury will go up for a three-point play. 25 seconds left, 23 seconds left on the clock. It's a running clock. 63-35. And Sidbury, not enough time left to make a huge comeback. That's a violation. 6 seconds left, and it looks like it's all wrapped up. And a dunk by Kevin Nevers. And that is ball game. The Coolidge Colts, big blowout win, 65 to Dunbar Crimson Tide 35. And we'll have post-game